Hallo kykers en welkom by nog 'n episode van Erongo Talk, julle gunsteling en hoogs betroubare aanlyn nuusbron. Ons kuier in ons ateljee hier by Platz Am Meer Mall in Swakopmund. Op vandag se program vertel minister Kali Sluitwan waarom watervoorsiening infrastruktuur in die Erongo streek relatief veilig is vir die volgende 25 jaar. Maar eerst op die lys is ons kalenderdag en vandag vier ons internasionale verpleersdag. Geniet die klip. In today's news, Lifelink Henties Bay and Namibia Marshall Rangers both want to operate in Henties Bay, but the town might be too small, literally and figuratively, to be able to accommodate both of them. Lifelink recently indicated, due to financial unsustainability, it was going to cease its operations there after a decade of service. Soon after that, Namibia Marshall Rangers, who are increasing their presence in Erongo, indicated their intention to establish an ambulance service in Henties Bay. There is, however, beef between the two companies' bosses. Brian Lowe of Lifelink Henties Bay is suing Marshall Ranger Sean Nadir for $100,000 Namibian for alleged defamation of character. Lowe is claiming that Nadir spread defamatory comments about him and his private ambulance business in the town, allegedly claiming Lowe unprofessionally and unethically providing monopolized emergency services to the detriment of the town's people. He told Erongo 24/7 that he cannot say more on the court case as it was sub judice. He, however, did confirm his intention to leave the town because it was not making business sense. But then a community meeting was convened in which it was decided to establish a trust to help fund and keep an emergency service provider in town. The Namibian Marshall Rangers are, however, optimistic that their operations in Henties Bay will be up and running within a week. All paperwork is in place, the registration has been done and the premises has been obtained in town close to the frail care facility. Moving on. The Swakopmund municipality is being forced to place large granite blocks along the beach just north of the jetty to address the increased threat of sea encroachment. The municipality announced last week that work will start immediately, but that it will only be a temporary solution for now. A permanent, large-scale operation is being planned, which will require an environmental assessment, public participation, and ministerial approval. Besides some high-value oceanfront homes, the ocean encroachment is also threatening the erosion of public land and damaging municipal sewerage infrastructure in the immediate vicinity. The larger permanent project will provide protection to the area from the storm surges and rising sea levels. For now, the beach area and public area will be closed off during this emergency activity. Molenweg will not be closed during the construction period, but the public must take note of large earth-moving vehicles making use of this road to bring material to the site to construct the temporary revetment. And finally, Namibia's National Rail Service operator Transnamib announced its full ownership and the relaunch of the Swakopmund Hotel and Entertainment Center. Transnamib previously held a 50% stake in the hotel and was able to acquire the shares held by Stocks and Stocks to the tune of 103 million Namibian dollars. through a cabinet resolution and commitment, making the hotel a fully Namibian-owned entity. The CEO of Transnamib, Johnny Smith, said that the hotel had recently found itself virtually insolvent, with its liabilities outweighing its assets. The matter was concluded and resolved in March 2022. We are very fortunate when the government decided that the rightful ownership of the hotel's property should be transferred to Namibian hands, Smith said. The government has invested $150 million Namibian dollars of taxpayers' money in the hotel. Further investment will be made in infrastructural improvements to the hotel, including the notable refurbishment of 90 hotel rooms. The new owners decided to sign a management agreement with Legacy Hospitality Management Proprietary Limited to keep on managing the hotel running for the next 10 years under strict performance conditions and indications. Visit www.erongo.com.na on our Facebook page for more news about the mighty Erongo region.
Rossing uranium mine at Arandis secured its water supply capacity by 60,000 cubic meters with the construction of 6 water reservoir tanks worth $105 million. The reservoirs were officially inaugurated last Thursday by the Minister of Agriculture, Water and Land Reform, Kalle Schletwein. Rossing Uranium's General Manager for Asset Management, Edwin Chiriyange, said that in the last few years the reliance of mines on desalinated water has increased significantly. Unfortunately, the Urano desalination plant north of Swakopmund, which supplies 50% of Erongo's fresh water, was not designed to handle the Central Coast algae blooms and sulfur outbursts, which impact water supply from the plant to its customers, which includes Rossing Mine.
Over the last few years, the trend of water outages as a result of the interruption in terms of the water supply has been so significant that between 2017 and 2020 alone, the total number of outages as a result of insufficient water supply totaled to 59 days of production outage. That equated to 464 tons of uranium in lost production. That alone, looking at the year 2020, the total number of days we lost as a result of water interruption was 24 days, with a total of 192 tons of uranium lost in that process.
This was when the mine approved the construction of the reservoir to mitigate the impact of water losses. The mine uses about 8,000 cubic meters of water a day. If there was a supply disruption now, the new reservoir would ensure the mine has nearly 8 days of stored water, during which time the desalination issues with the algae bloom should be resolved for the continuation of normal supply. Schletwein said the new reservoirs form part of the sustainable water supply strategy for the mine and to assist in easing the pressure on the existing adjacent dam water infrastructure. He said that water supply in Erongo is relatively secure for the next 25 years as water extraction capacity has been increased and all water supply infrastructure has been replaced and upgraded.
Actually, the groundwater resources are very healthy, and we are in the process of being able to sustainably abstract a little bit more than in the past. So we are very proud actually to say that we are looking well after the groundwater resources. They are in good shape, have overhauled and replaced the total infrastructure of both groundwater resources that supply the West Coast. It's from the Quisep and the Omdel to Swakopmund. The total infrastructure is upgraded and replaced, and it has now a lifespan till 2037.
Schletwein said that the Quisep aquifer's ability has been remeasured and new compartments have been opened that will increase the capacity of sustainable groundwater withdrawal. He also mentioned that the government, in collaboration with NamWater, is in the final stages for commencing the actual public-private partnership procurement stage to construct another desalination plant at the coast, which will increase water supply of desalinated water to the central areas, but also support water supply to the rest of the region and even Botswana.
We have now taken the next step to proceed with procuring a second desalination plant to augment what I said earlier, the very quickly rising demand for water in this region. This is envisaged to be a modular desalination facility, which is scalable to further supply desalination water to not only the coastal areas, but also the central areas first. And as a third phase, we are anticipating a much larger facility that will supply the dry areas in our eastern part of the country and some parts of Botswana. So it's in the first phase that is dedicated for only the west coast area up to, say, the escarpment, that is Uys, Karabuk, Usakos, those places must be reachable by that plant. And I just wanted to share with you that we have now taken the next step. It is not anymore a question whether or not we will build it, we will build it. And we have fast-tracked it because of the increasing demand.
This week on Erongo Talk, we look at Mio Bay. Mio Bay was used as a harbour to offload mining equipment and personnel during the diamond rush between 1890 and 1914 and served as a logistics hub in later years. The only remaining hut now at Mio Bay, which has since been renovated by the Windhoek Underwater Club, served as an office and accommodation to the then transport manager of the Namakwa Diamond Company. The two last remaining surf boats used at the beginning of the last century along the Namibian coast are also lying at Mio Bay. These boats, being highly maneuverable, were used in West Africa to transport goods and passengers from ship to shore and vice versa. This area is also marked by whale bones originating from a whaling station that was located on one of the offshore islands. Join us again next week on Erongo Talk.
Adam Tas is coming to Windhoek to help build a brighter future for education. Join us at the Sounds of Caring concert at Windhoek High School Swakopmund on 20 and 21 May, where he will be performing with Von Arends and Rian Smith. Tickets cost $200 Namibian and are available via eticket.my.na. All proceeds go towards the African Child Development Trust.
Yeah, charity for kids is close to my heart. We have a project here in South Africa called Help Yach, where we feed about 8,000 children every day. So yeah, children is obviously close to my heart. I'm a dad as well, and I'm looking forward to make a difference in your country as well. So come on and have a look at the show.
Grumpy returned from the mighty Okavango with great success and sightings of some crocodiles and hippos. He was even lucky enough to see a pair of fish eagles. Grumpy says that without a doubt the catch of the week belongs to John Moody from Swakopmund, who went fishing at the Zela Wreck area in search of galjoen. His rod bent double and the fight was on. After a few moments he realized that it wasn't a big galjoen but a very rare spotted grunter. He used white mussel as bait. These spotted grunters are usually found in areas at the southern tip of Africa like Port Alfred. They are delicious and make for great eating. Garth Eiberg also landed a decent steenbras this past week. Kobus Mostert probably had the most fun this past week. He got stuck into a big kop. Kobus used pilchards as bait and cast his bait out as far as possible. After a few tense moments, the massive kop was lying peacefully on the shore. He quickly took some photos and then released the fish. Great job. That's our breeding stock that he released, so it's hats off to you, Kobus. The week was more or less as expected, with mostly galjoen being targeted. A few undersized ones were landed in between the larger fish. Mile 32 did great as well as Zela Wreck. The anglers hit mile 14 and then worked their way back to Swakopmund. Some loose seaweed in certain areas gave the anglers some grey hair. It's definitely not much fun to pull in a bunch of seaweed. This usually results in anglers quickly packing up and moving to a better angling spot. The conditions for the week seems to be relatively calm, with some more swell expected this weekend. That should again bring some sought after galjoen on the bite. And with that we conclude our fishing report for today.
And now for your weather. Sunset at the coast will be 6:30 on Thursday and sunrise will be 27 minutes past 7 on Friday. Walvis Bay will have a maximum of 22 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius. A 15 knot south-southwesterly wind will prevail. Swakopmund will have a maximum of 21 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and on Friday a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. A 11 knot southwest wind will prevail. Henties Bay will have a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. A 13 knot south wind will prevail. Arandas will have a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 12 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 30 degrees Celsius. A 9 knot south wind will prevail. Usakos will have a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 32 degrees Celsius. A 9 knot south-southeasterly wind will prevail. Karibop will have a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 9 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. A 7 knot north-northwesterly wind will prevail. And lastly, Omaruru will have a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius on Thursday, and for Friday a minimum of 8 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. A 7 knot south-southwesterly wind will prevail.
Hi there, this is Rian Smith, and I'll be performing at VIA Stadium at the Wegkop on the 21st of May, along with Adam Tuss and Vaughan Arons, for a beautiful event put together. It's a lovely charity thing, so please get your tickets online and come join us at VIA Stadium on the 21st of May.
Aan die einde van vandag se program gekom, maar die pret hoef nie hier te stop nie. Sluit gerus daagliks om 2 uur op DStv kanaal 285 of GoTV kanaal 94 by ons aan, of geniet 'n verskeidenheid van programme op ons NMH aanlyn TV kanaal oneup2.com. Julle kan ook toegang tot meer nuus en ander stories op ons splinternuwe webwerf by www.erongo.com.na kry, of volg ons op Facebook, waar daar ook 'n paar kompetisies met ongelooflike pryse beskikbaar is. Vir jou advertensiebehoeftes, kontak ons by erongotalk@synergy.com.na of stuur vir ons 'n WhatsApp of Telegram na 0817 00040. Ek herhaal die nommer vir julle, dit is 0817 00040. Maar vir eers en tot volgende keer sê ek cheerio.